Wouldn't it be great if you could block personal devices from accessing your Microsoft 365 data and applications? Well, you can, and in this video, I'm going to show you how. But before we start, just a quick intro. My name is Jonathan Edwards from Integral IT. We help businesses all over the world with the Microsoft 365. Check out our website at integral-it.co.uk. Now, I've talked in some previous videos about conditional access policies in Microsoft 365. Just a few weeks ago, I put together a video with 7 basic conditional access policies to help keep your business secure. Now, in that video, we created policies such as making sure that everybody who accessed your Microsoft 365 had MFA enabled. Plus, we blocked unapproved countries. Now, conditional access policies in Microsoft 365 are really powerful. And what they do, they layer on top of each other, a little bit like an onion. Each conditional access policy helps to secure your Microsoft 365. But there's a more advanced conditional access policy that we like to create for our customers, and it can really help secure your Microsoft 365. Let's just think about Microsoft 365 for a moment. It's a cloud-based product, and when you first set it up, anybody can access your data and applications from any country in the world on any device. Now, this sounds very convenient, but it's not very secure. Partly because you don't know how secure those devices are that are getting used to access your data. So a great conditional access policy to create is to make sure that only company-owned devices can access your data and applications. How does Microsoft know a device is company-owned? Well, that's simple. We enroll it in Intune. So that means that any device not enrolled in Intune or enrolled as a personal device in Intune simply won't get access to your data and applications. It's a bit like magic. So in a moment, I'm going to jump on and give you a demo exactly how to set this up. But first, just a few words. This is conditional access, folks, and the tenant I'm using is a test tenant. So if you're looking after Microsoft 365 for an organization, don't rush into creating these policies. Test them first and use the report only mode rather than switching it straight on. And also in this demo, I am targeting Windows laptops and Windows computers, and also Mac laptops and Mac computers. I've excluded iOS, which is iPhones and iPads, and Android smartphones. There's another approach that I take with smartphones. That is to create an app protection policy. And I've got a video on my channel about that as well. So without further ado, let's jump onto that computer behind me and I'll give you the demo. Okay, let's set the scene a little bit. So I've got a Microsoft 365 test tenancy. You can see it here. I've got 3 users. I've got Ellie Executive, Fred Finance, and Ian Intern. They've all got business premium licenses. If I just scroll down here to where it says admin centers, and I'm going to go into endpoint manager. Once I'm in there, I'm going to go to devices and I'm going to go to Windows. Okay, you can see I've got a single device here. It's the bearded laptop. It's managed by Intune, which is endpoint manager here. And crucially, it says here ownership corporate. So if I go into here, go to properties, you can see I've got a couple of options, personal or corporate. This is very much a corporate device. Now I can actually see this device because I've got some virtual software installed on this computer. It's called VirtualBox. So here is the bearded lap. What I can do now is I can log on as Ellie. Enter a PIN and that will log on. Okay, once it's logged on, you can see I can launch Outlook, and this is Ellie's computer. It's in Intune, it's part of our organization. Click on Not Now there. Right, what I'm going to do now is minimize that screen here. Now, what I can also do, because I've got no restrictions in place, is I can go to a web browser on this PC. So this is the PC I'm filming on. It's not in Intune. It's not managed by that organization. And I can log on to the web portal of Microsoft 365 and also access those applications. I'll enter Ellie's email address, her password, and it's going to prompt me now for multi-factor authentication. Click on yes on there, and that should approve the request. And that will log me in to the web version, okay? So there's absolutely no restrictions and there's nothing stopping me. even though this will be classed as a personal computer. Okay, so I will close that page now. Now I'm back in Intune. I'm going to create this conditional access policy. So I'll head down here to where it says conditional access. You can access conditional access in different places, but we can also access it here in Intune. I'll go to policies, and you can see that I've already got several conditional access policies in place. Now, I created these conditional access policies in a video that I did a few weeks ago. These were basic conditional access policies to secure your Microsoft 365. If you've not checked that out, I do urge you to do so. So what I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to create a new policy. I'll create this policy, Conditional Access 08, because it's the 8th Conditional Access policy. I'm going to call it Block Personal Devices. Okay. So I'm going to target all users, but I'm going to exclude this admin account here because I don't want to get locked out of the 365 portal. So I exclude that. Target resources, we're going to select all cloud apps. And then we're going to look at the conditions. Firstly, we're going to talk about device platforms. So yes, we're going to configure the device platforms, but this policy is only going to affect Windows and Mac OS. So those devices only. I've got another policy, another conditional access policy to block access to Linux and Windows Phone. And we're going to exclude Android and iOS from this policy, because what I don't want to do is users can no longer access their apps on their smartphones either. This is purely blocking personal laptops and personal MacBooks. Okay, so click on Done. Then we're going to go to Client Apps here. We're going to click on Configure, and we're going to leave all these selected. Now, an important thing, we're going to go to Filter to Devices. So what we're going to do is click on Yes here. Now, what's a filter to devices? Well, if you remember when I showed you the device here in Endpoint Manager, it said it was a corporate device. So what I'm going to do here, that is under device ownership. Okay, so device ownership equals personal. Okay, we're going to add an expression. It's or device ownership not equals company. Okay, and then we're going to click on Done. And then we're going to go here and we're going to say block access. Okay. So what we've got here is a policy targeted all users, excluding the admin, all cloud apps. We're targeting Windows and Macs, all client apps, and it has to be equals, the device ownership equals to personal. Okay. Now I'm going to switch that on and I'm going to click on create. Now that policy has been created. So if I go back to my Windows PC now, it's still logged on. What I'll do, I'll log off and I'll log back on again just to see if there's been any effect to that. Now there shouldn't be, because this is a corporate owned device and we've specified that that should be okay. So I'm going to log on again as Ellie. Okay, it's logged onto the computer. Okay, let me launch Outlook. Okay, it's launched Outlook, it's connected, that is working fine. Let's just try accessing as Ellie on the personal device. So minimize this, we'll launch Edge, we'll open it in incognito mode, we'll go to the page there, we'll enter the email address, click on Next, let's enter the password, click on Sign In, multi-factor authentication, that's good, I've authenticated there. And as you can see, Ellie can no longer access Microsoft 365 on this personal device. It says your signing was successful, but it doesn't meet the criteria. And that criteria is this device is personal. So that is how to block access on personal devices to Microsoft 365. So there you have it, a really powerful conditional access policy that can help secure your Microsoft 365. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Look forward to seeing you again soon.